looks like I'm live. I'm going to quickly just check the audio, make sure everything's okay. Alright, sounds good. So we'll be continuing from yesterday. So in the last 10 minutes or so of the stream, I had quite a successful chase. I've got an hour tonight, so I'll be doing from 8 PM to 9 PM UK time. To be honest, I'll probably be finishing just in time for the storms to kick off in, it's looking like the Louisiana, Arkansas area. Hopefully things don't go too badly there. But who knows, SBC have issued a 10% hatched risk area. So we're continuing from yesterday. I've rushed to add destruction into the game. So I was working up to the very last minute before the stream. So I do have the Unity editor open, so I do apologise if I need to go back and forth between the game and the editor. Hopefully I won't, but I've got it there just in case there's any game-breaking bugs, which I introduced when I'm quickly setting things up. So I've dotted kind of the same prefab, towns. I say town, it's a couple of barns, a few houses, and a large, industrial cow thing. I'm not a farmer, in case you can't tell. I'm just going to turn that volume down a bit. So this is what I've got here. So these should all be destructible. I made some last minute changes to the code just to tweak it a bit, but I didn't have time to test it before the stream, so I do apologise if the destruction doesn't look quite right. Let's go and choose a mission to do. Try and go for the lower rating ones. 3,000 for 100 F1 samples in 10 minutes. That sounds decent. Let's try and take that one then. So now it's just a matter of looking out for where the tornado is. Let's get a radar scan. Right, it looks like it's all kicking off to our north. So I want to drive this direction and turn right. Oh, there it is. So I've kind of just copied and pasted this and placed it in 3 or 4 locations randomly around the map. So we might see some destruction, we might not. It's kind of up in the air. Poor choice of words, I do admit. I think that's coming towards us, so we might actually be quite lucky here. One thing I haven't figured out yet is why my first-person character moonwalks when standing still. Haven't quite figured that out yet. Oh, we might actually be really lucky and see destruction in the first few minutes of the stream. So if you do know anyone who'd be interested in this, or on any Discord channels, Facebook, social media, feel free to ping them, because it looks like we're about to see something really interesting here. I'm going to go put myself right in the path here and drop a probe. Let's go forward a bit though, don't want to miss it. So there's a bit of left to right motion, but I think we're right in the path, so let's just deploy the probe. And while we're waiting for that, let's check the radar screen, see what it says. I think I need to make the player dot a bit bigger. Okay, it's curving, but it's coming towards us, so let's just wait here. We can't let that wind speed in the bottom left go over 100 miles an hour, or we'll lose all the money and progress towards the current mission, so we don't want that. It looks like it's much further away on the radar than it is. Yeah, we might start. And the destruction starts once the wind speed gets above 60 miles an hour. So we'll start seeing that soon. I may need to bump that threshold up because we do frequently get winds higher than 60 miles an hour here in the UK, and roofs and things don't blow off. Let's get some old-fashioned VHS footage of this. Oh, in the perfect position here. It's going to be a better start to the stream. So we'll probably first see this roof come off over here. Hopefully, providing I haven't broken anything. Oh, getting some Z fighting there. I'll need to fix that. It looks like they're being accelerated way too fast. Right, we're going to have to get out of here pretty soon. So what I'll do is reverse. Is this called doing a Reed Timmer? I know I'm not screaming back up at the top of my lungs, but he must own the intellectual property for that maneuver. Okay, good position here to watch. If anyone's watching, if you prefer me to record this in the VHS mode, just say. I don't know how those houses are still standing. Now they're getting ripped apart. I have to see what I did wrong with those houses, because those should be getting ripped to pieces as well. It looks like it's not actually deactivating the parent model. So how this how it works is I have a solid model, and then I have what I call children of that, which are the broken up fragments. And it looks like the fragments are being generated properly, but for some reason the parent model isn't being made invisible. So I need to figure out why that is, but I'm not going to fix that on the stream for now. So there's 55 readings. So let's, if we can, pick up our probe. This looks like an F5, I think, based on the colouring on the radar. We've got to be careful to not go over 100 miles an hour. Let the wind speed go over 100 miles an hour. And our truck can take readings now as well, so that makes things a little bit easier. You can still earn a little bit of cash even if you don't perfectly get in front of the path of the tornado. Looks fantastic. I'm glad that demo happened so early in the stream. Good start. So we might, for once, hear the actual mission success sound effect. Once I get up to, I've just got to get up to 100 samples before the mission times out, so 4 minutes left here. Actually, I think it looks better without the VHS effect in this case, just because it's such low contrast. I think our top speed is now 75 miles an hour, so you can see I can get around the map a lot quicker now. Oh, okay, I've got to be careful now. 96, 95. I think the next thing I'll upgrade is the maximum wind speed, so I can get a little bit closer and record a little bit higher readings. But I don't think a deployment's going to be necessary because we've got 3 minutes left, and we've got 9 readings left, and we can get them from the truck. Okay, 3, 2, and you can hear the special sound effect I prepared just for this moment. It looks like something else is getting destroyed now. There we go. So that little sound effect there means we've successfully completed our mission. Looks like another town's getting ripped apart. Yeah, so I can see debris flying around everywhere. Let's try and get in front of this so we can get just a nice view of it. There it is, and that's the VHS view of it. Better go check on Aunt Meg. Yeah, if she was in any of those buildings, she may not be doing too well. She got hit by an F4, not an F5. So what I'll do, I'll quickly get an upgrade. So let's upgrade my max wind. And the sampling rate. There we go. So in a perfect position to get another... Oh, I need another mission. What mission should we choose? This is an F5. Let's go mission 5. 200 F5 samples and we'll have 30 minutes. So I think this is heading north. And I can go up to, I think it's 140 miles an hour now. Yep, without being penalised. Ah. Pushed the wind speed too high there. Alright. What I might do is just punch straight through it. Get out to the other side. Let's look at those wind speeds. 202 miles an hour. So that's... Is that F4, F5 wind speed? I'm not too sure. Okay, maybe choose a lower rated mission then, because if even we can still even F4 strength, we're then not going to earn anything from this. 50 F1 samples. Okay, that seems easy enough to do. Need to get in front of it though. Okay, that's I still haven't fixed that contract expiring bug. Let's just go select it again. Do mission 4. See if we can collect some F2 wind strength readings. Whoa, can't go over 140. Alright. Select another one then. $6,000 for F1. Let's just deploy quickly. Try and position ourselves in front of it. I think it's starting to weaken now. So which mission did I end up selecting there? So let's follow the path of this. So the radar will update and you can see the path of the tornado there. Oh, so it mightn't have actually been an F5. It looks like possibly an F3 and now it's weakening and we're upping out. And the mission we've currently got, there we go, is 200 F2 samples and we've got 15 minutes. Let's get back to a road. Okay, there's a road over there, so if I just power towards that. Unless there's some over here, that looks a bit far away. Might be able to do with upgrading the weight of the truck, just for a bit extra stability. Okay, I've just got a notice here saying YouTube's not receiving enough frames. It shouldn't really be the case because I'm getting the frames per second is fine. I'm getting 45 to 50 frames per second, and my internet's decently fast. I can't remember what we've got, if it's 500 megabits or if we upgraded to 900. There's some sort of deal around the New Year time which we got. So let me just Alt-Tab and just check everything's okay with the stream. Stream health. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as such viewers will experience buffering. Don't know why that's the case, because skip frames detected 25%. Why? Why are we getting skipped frames? Will trees get destroyed as well and then respawn after some time? So I might make it so that trees can get ripped out the ground. I don't know if I'll respawn them, but just next time you load up the game, they'll be back where they were. It's a bit tricky, just because of the way the work. So the GPU renders them, and then when you get close to them, they then get converted to an actual model that's in the scene. So that might pose some problems when trying to make them interact with the tornado, since it tracks the player's position. There may be a workaround for that, I'm not sure. But I could always manually place some trees which are destructible. I've just realised I've lost my YouTube window. There we go. Buffering a little bit, but it seems okay now. Okay. Hopefully things go back to normal. I don't know why I'm getting these issues, because my internet's fine, frames per second's fine, so there shouldn't really be any reason to be getting a low frame rate. I haven't spotted this tornado. Right, I'm going to use a little hack which I've got, and I've got this little reset script, but if I hit R enough times... Oh, okay, there we go. The road's over there. Yeah, let's get back onto a road, and then we can start figuring out how to intercept this next twister. There we go. Let's go wait 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we appear to be miles from it, and it's heading away from us. Okay, I'm just going to head back towards the middle of the map. So if I'm facing the edge of... I'm trying to figure out which way I'm oriented here. Okay, so the road ends in a little loop. Trying to figure out which way to head to get... Let's just follow the road as far as it'll take us. Yeah, I think the next thing I might do is I might upgrade... There's debris just scattered over here. I do need to set it so that it automatically clears after a while. I save on memory and maybe a bit of processing as well. Feels a lot less tedious getting around everywhere at 75 miles an hour instead of 50 now. Yeah, I think some of these roads are supposed to have bridges on them, so one thing I need to do when I'm fixing the roads is put bridges in where there should be. I think I'm trying to take these off-road sections too quickly. Don't know how I'm supposed to get up to that, though. Oh well. It's easier than I expected. Please don't say I'm back to where I started. I think I am, because we just drove past there before. I must have flipped 180 at some point. So I'm going to take this next bit slowly so I don't roll the truck again. So the road shouldn't be like this. This is going to have to be changed to a bridge. I think easy roads can also do tunnels as well. As far as I'm aware, there aren't really any tunnels in this region. It looks like the road runs out. So I know where I should know where I am now. So I followed this all the way around. Okay, so if I flip 180 and drive straight, I should get back onto the road network. Yeah, I think maybe a mini-map in the corner or something might be useful, because I'm spending a lot of time getting lost and checking the map. Right, so I just need to treat it as if there is a road here. Oh, there we go. We can see the road network up ahead. Okay, am I back onto the real road network here?
Mission failure. Contract expired.
That's okay, we'll get another contract. Yeah, oh, there's a cell just popped up to our left. Have to see if it's coming towards us. Oh, there's a tornado there. It's spinning quickly, so that's a sign it's going to be a strong one. Let's get a contract. 8,000 for 10 minutes. Let's try that. 5 minutes to get, what was it? 200 F1 samples. Okay, so where are we? Where is it? And how do we get in front of it? Oh, that cell's exploded. May need to off-road again. So the road runs out, but let's do an off-road deployment. I think it's heading towards a road we could deploy on. Okay, let's check the radar. I think it's heading straight south. What did you miss? There was a lot of destruction at the very beginning of the stream, and then a little bit more after that. A random town in here got hit. And we successfully finished our first mission, earned a few $1,000s. I've upgraded the max wind speed, so now I can push it up to 140 miles an hour instead of 100-mile-an-hour winds, without having my contract cancelled. And next I'm planning on upgrading the weight on the truck, just because now with the increased top speed it's very easy to catch a bit of air and roll it. Okay, let's see what we can get. Might just be able to drive straight into it. If the wind speeds are less than 140 miles an hour, the truck will be fine. Try and get in front without going over 140 miles an hour. Got to keep an eye on those numbers in the bottom left of the screen. Ah, 130. Ah. Right, so I've lost those 7 samples. Let's get in front of it. Let's get in front of it, get a bit of distance. Oh. Is able to be picked up by the tornado? Not yet, but I do want to make that a thing. Okay, let's quickly get a mission. Let's go mission number 3. Yeah, I think we're in its path now, so let's gain a bit of distance. Whoa! Don't do a flip. Right, let's deploy.
Mission failure. Contract expired.
Ah, there's that bug again. Okay, let's do mission number 5. See, it takes a lot of readings now, 3 readings per second. Okay, we're not getting anything else now, so let's put that back in. As soon as it starts getting lifted into the truck, let's go after the tornado. Is the rating based on the winds, the damage? The rating's based on the winds. I'm using the F scale since it's set in the 90s, and it's just easier to, in terms of writing the logic for it, to just check the wind speed, and then if it's in the threshold for, say, an F4, to just colour it accordingly, rather than trying to keep track of how much damage it's caused, because, well, it's possible, it's just much easier to use wind speed, and it fits in with the era quite nicely as well. Careful here. Careful. 125 miles an hour. See, the winds are very concentrated towards the center of it, and I think it's just starting to rope out now as well. Yeah. Let's just watch it rope out. Okay, I can't remember what the actual mission is. Let's hit the radar update. So this is our third tornado track. Okay, that was an F5. So what's our mission? 200 F1 samples. We should be able to do that because the probe samples very quickly now. Don't have enough to do upgrade number 3. So let's, in this lull, find our way back to the road network. Let's say I'm right at the edge of the map. Okay, there's one going up to our north. That's where having a compass in-game would really help things. Let's drive this direction. I'll either find the edge of the map, or I'll see a tornado and I'll know exactly which direction to head in. Got 11 minutes, which I think is enough time to get 200 samples. Okay, let's look at the map from last time and then see if I'm close to the edge of the map. Okay, I think I need to head to the right, and this looks like a very intense cell. Later versions, there'll be different types of tornadoes, like multi-vortex or non-visible. I'm not sure about doing non-visible tornadoes, just because it's part of the fun is tracking them down. I do already have some code for multi-vortex tornadoes, but it'll take a little bit more of additional game logic to get them working nicely with what I've got already working in the game. And satellite tornadoes should... is this the edge of the map? This is looking like the edge of the map. Satellite tornadoes should also be possible as well. We just literally just spawn a second tornado and have it revolve around the first. I haven't implemented it yet, but yeah, things like that are planned and are possible. So one thing I've done is I've scaled the intensity of the weather effects by the intensity of the tornado. So if you're seeing stronger rain and hail and more frequent lightning, more intense lightning, that's a sign that it's a stronger tornado. No, it's not totally realistic, but I guess the goal of this game wasn't really to be realistic, but to be action-packed and fun. Yes, so I was thinking of doing that to have some sort of sound warning letting you know you're getting close to the max threshold. One thing I was thinking of is I don't know if you've used the glider in a flight simulator, but they have I forget what the instrument's called, but it tells you your vertical speed, or it detects the amount of lift or something to that effect, and it creates a range of tones to let you know whether it's increasing or decreasing. So what I could do is once you start getting towards the red zone, it increases in frequency or something until to give you that warning that you're getting near the limit of what your vehicle can handle. What I'm going to use that little cheat I did before just to orient myself. Okay, where's our nearest road? RFD and El Reno style rain wrap tornadoes. So having rain wrap tornadoes might be a bit tricky because to get so So to do a rain wrap tornado, I'll likely need to use particles, and because I'm using a separate camera to render the tornado, oh, there's the tornado. Because I'm using a separate camera to render it, it's very difficult to get something transparent like particles to render correctly with the tornado. I do want to make that possible eventually, but for the near future that's not planned because it's likely going to be quite a bit of work. It's something that sounds simple until you try and do it, and then you quickly realize that it's a lot more complicated. Right, let's try and get the rest of our readings. I think we need to get 200. I could always tweet Reed and ask if he'd be willing to provide a voice recording if he wanted to be in the game. Then he'd more than likely want royalties. Well, there's a roof off something. Actual cost will be free. So I will be charging for this just because it's been a lot of work to build this game and a lot of personal expense as well. So I'll be charged. It's not going to be a ridiculous amount though. I'd imagine it'll be somewhere in the range of what Storm Chasers was. I've lost my situational awareness. There we go. It's that direction. Might catch some air here coming over the top of this. How is the performance? It looks choppy on the stream. The performance is fine, so I'm on a laptop with the GTX 1050 mobile GPU, and I'm getting anywhere between 35 and 45 frames per second. So if there's any sort of choppiness, that may be the that may be the stream, or it could be the camera vibrating so much since I'm driving off road right now. But yeah, I'm purposely developing it on my laptop rather than my desktop because it forces me to think about performance. And if I can get it performing well on a GTX 1050 with 2 gig of RAM, or video RAM, then for dedicated gaming machines, it should run absolutely fine. My aim is to not have it go below 30 frames per second while near a tornado, and above 40 frames per second while just driving around. Yeah, I spent a week just optimizing, so I spent probably about 5 or 6 months creating the shader for the tornado. Then I spent a week just optimizing the rendering of it, so that in Unity you can have multiple cameras, so at any one time you're always looking through 2 cameras which are layered on top of each other. And what I do is I render the tornado at half resolution and then upscale it, and visually you can't really notice a difference since tornadoes are quite blurry and fuzzy anyway, but the performance speed up was massive, and I couldn't ignore that. So where is it? I couldn't ignore that performance gain, so I spent about a week just optimizing it, because there's no point creating something which looks nice but then plays at 7 frames per second. Oh. Your 3090 Ti, yeah, your 3090 Ti is more than capable. If you keep this up, the game will be better than all the ones on the market right now. Well, thank you. I am aiming to try and create the at least the most fun storm chasing game on the market. Best, I guess, is a subjective term because it looks like Outbreak's going for realism, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But if you're just wanting to enjoy chasing tornadoes, you might not want to spend your like 20 minutes doing a forecast and then driving to your target area and then seeing an F1 spin up briefly, or I guess an EF1 spin up briefly, because I guess that's more of a realistic experience.
Mission failure. Contract
Yeah, the
expired.
contract expired, but we did get some money there. Where is this tornado and where are we? I need to fix this screen jumping around. I don't know what's causing it. I'm still near the edge of the map. So I should have still been paid. So I've got $685. So I think I might increase the weight of the truck, just so it's a bit more sturdy. Okay, I've got $400. I want to upgrade how many samples I can take. Being able to take 100 at a time is going to help. $200. Can I afford it? Let's upgrade the radar quality as well. But one thing I'm tempted to do is to just I'm actually developing the game on like Little Cloud. Yeah, it's a shame. I don't know what's happened to Little Cloud. He just went off the map just completely. He showed a really promising screenshot. Shared some really cool videos. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to close the game and start again, just because I'm tired of being lost in the corner of the map. So it saves the progress. Well, I guess this is a good way of testing whether it does actually save the progress. Let me just go to the build folder and launch it again. Just, yeah, no responses to any emails. You used to always respond to my emails within about a day or so. Maybe I shouldn't put the reset progress button so close to the start button. And it should probably ask if you're sure as well. Maybe once or twice. So hopefully it saved all of our upgrades. Let's have a check. It looks like it has. We've got the right amount of money. Max speed 75, weight 2 tons, 100 samples, 3 samples per second, quality 6 pixels, range, deployment maximum. Yep, looks good. I think the next thing I want to do is upgrade the the refresh rate, how often it refreshes. We might be lucky and see another destructive tornado run through here. Let's choose a mission. Looks like we're gonna have to do an F2 mission. Let's choose mission number 1 because 200 samples, well, it's a lot. We've got 15 minutes, so even if we get close to that, we're gonna earn a good chunk of cash. Is that coming towards us or away from us? Storm Chasers would be in a good game. Yeah. I sunk so much time into Storm Chasers. I'm not actually a massive gamer. I buy games in the Steam sales and that. But the only games which I've consistently put time into are Kerbal Space Program and Storm Chasers, are the only two which have really held my interest for a long period of time. I tend to get bored of games quite quickly. I also did get, because I got the Microsoft Game Pass, but I think I've spent a total of maybe 2 or 3 hours over about 3 or 4 days. I got Power Wash Simulator, where you just have like this pressure washer and you're presented with like a car or a playground or someone's house and you just gotta clean it. It was just a nice game to turn my brain off at the end of the day. So that's the only town in the game. So these are just a few things I just quickly dropped on the map before starting the stream. I literally had 5 minutes to put something together. So I'm going to put 9 towns in the game. the plan being to put them in a 3x3 grid, so there's always some town and some, or maybe I might do 4x4 because the map's quite big. So there's always likely going to be at least one getting hit or one in danger. Right, there's a right turn coming up. That might get us into a good position. So there's going to be 9 towns. Then I've got to go with a bit of logic of how to decide how much you get penalised or rewarded for warning a town in time. So obviously if you provide 30 seconds warning, that's not as good as providing 5 minutes warning. But it's better than providing no warning, but you can't really just go around and warn every town, and then if 45 minutes later it gets hit by chance that you get a reward. So there needs to be some sort of window of there needs to be some window of optimal warning time, and if you're earlier or later than that, then you earn less. Will there be cornfields? Yes, there will. I've actually purchased a corn asset. I can show it quickly, actually. Let's do a deployment here. I think this is a perfect spot to do it. It's quite a slow-moving tornado. Which direction's it moving? And I can briefly show an EF5 cornfield chase. That's definitely possible. Right, let's even complete this mission, and then I can show a preview of the cornfield asset. Oh, this is a weak tornado. We're pretty much in it, and we're only getting 24-mile-an-hour winds. Comments 50 seconds late, maybe because I'm in the US, you're in the UK. Yeah, so one of the things I've got to change, I can set the latency of the stream, so I can have higher quality but also higher latency, or I can have super low latency but then it also reduces the quality. So I've set it into the middle to try and minimize the gap between when somebody posts a comment and when I respond to it. I'm going to say that's a term I'm not familiar with, stream sniping. Is that if you're doing like multiplayer with someone and you watch their stream just to try and get the upper hand on them? I imagine from the context that might be what it is. Okay, this tornado is very quickly intensified, so let's start gathering some samples. I'm good up to 140 miles an hour. Looks like we're only getting 85-mile-an-hour winds here, so let's get the probe. Where's my probe? Did I leave it on the side of the road? I think I did. Okay, maybe let's just get some truck samples then. Was it F1 or F2 wind we needed to get? F2, so I don't think this is strong enough for us to get. Let's see if the hook echoes are working well yet or not. It's not an obvious hook yet. Yeah, I've left it at the side of the road. Might as well go and get it since we're going to get nothing from this tornado anyway. Oh, okay, yeah, so kind of like the equivalent of screen peeking, but remotely. Good promotional picture there. VHS mode and normal. Let's get one without the Jeep just in case there's any copyright issues. Right, I left it over there somewhere. think I left it along here. I'm pretty sure it was along here. I'm quite happy with that view. I'm really happy. I've got to say, this is the most pleased I've been with the an angle I've been getting of a tornado. Release a demo at some point. What I'll probably do is a closed sort of play test. So I'll choose probably around 5 people, and I'll try and vary it. So based on, I guess, real world storm chasing experience, gaming experience, maybe programming experience, to get a range of perspectives on the game and get some feedback. And then I can take that feedback and then release it on Steam. I may do a limited demo, but it's going to be a lot of additional work just to strip everything down and just release a demo. Is that our probe up ahead? I left it I left it on a straight road. That really does narrow it down. You get double samples. Yes, you do. So the truck's independent from the probe. I just thought to help things a bit because it was proven quite difficult to get any sort of sample. Just waiting for that to rope out because it looks to be an F1 and we need F2, at least F2 wind speeds to be successful. I'll probably do the same thing as well, Little Cloud did, which is, I think it was just a Microsoft form or something, or Google survey. I'll just drop the link on the Discord and people can fill it out. And then I'll hand choose a few people and then take it from there. I think I've managed to lose the probe, so what I'll do, let's just quit. And I'll show the cornfield. So this is kind of like a behind the scenes view. So let's just go to where the car is. Just go over here. I'll drag and drop it on. So I'll put it in the farm assets. There's different densities of corn. So let's do that, and then I just need to fix the shaders. So we don't need the camera, don't need a light source, don't need a ground plane. Got different types. So because I've imported it, it's lost some of the I think I created a material for it somewhere. Should have been in here. So let's just create a corn material so I can texture it correctly. Let's just drop it on here. Oh. Drop it on there and drop it on there. Just show this quickly, and then we need to assign some things. So albedo, is it in textures? Maybe. Or it might be instead of standard, it might be unlit texture. So that might be right. Looks right because we can, everything's coloured. So yeah, there's potential to have a cornfield in the game. So I can take that. What I might do is quickly just drop that as a prefab for later. And then we can recreate the end of Twister, or the Jonas scene, where they almost crash into Jonas. But for now, let's just drop that out, and I'll load the game up again. Oh, actually, I'm just looking. It's 9 o'clock, so I'll probably have to end the stream there. But if anybody has any last-minute questions, I'm happy to answer questions for a couple of minutes. Then I think I'm gonna have to go at 9. How well can a tornado get in the game? So I can show this. Let's just enable it. So the reason it looks like that is to do with the way the shaders work. But what I can do, if I go on the shader, there might be a bit of a performance hit here. Okay. So how it works is I have a 3D box and I render it based on the camera angle and a whole bunch of mathematics that goes on inside the shader. So this box is currently 1,000 by 1,000, so a kilometer wide. But what I can do as well is set it to a mile wide, so say 1,600 by 1,600. And then I need to set the aspect ratio down here, which is 300 over 1,600. Okay, and I'll zoom out a bit. So there is your. Let me just. That would be your mile wide wedge, almost. What I can do. What I've done is I've designed this to be as flexible as possible. So, for example, the curve, you can make it very curved, or you can have straight sides. The spin rate can change, so let's set it to like 0.3, and then the upward motion inside as well you can increase also. The top radius 0.5, you can make a cone tornado, so set that to 0.1, but that doesn't look too great, or 0.4. Density scale, so how much stuff it's made out of, I try and keep that around 0.1. Then you can change something called the fluffage factor, because I couldn't think of a better name for it. So if I set fluffage to 0, you can see there that looks terrible. But as you increase it, it starts to look more tornado-like. So I think that was set to about 0.8. And that's randomly generated. You've also got the debris cloud fluffage factor is separate from the tornadoes. So I can just adjust that upwards there. Then you can adjust things like how high up the funnel the debris cloud goes. So is it very high, very low? How wide is the top of the debris cloud? And how wide is the bottom? And so on. So this is all randomly generated. So I can potentially have mile-wide wedges in the game. It's just the larger you scale them up, the more you start to notice artifacts. So if I zoom right in here, if I can, as you scale them up, you get, I guess, the equivalent of pixelation, but in 3 dimensions, and you start to get some banding artifacts. Yeah, and I guess that's what the tornado looks like from underneath. So that's what I've been working on for the past, I'm not sure, several months.